Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Devil's Digest game preview as Arizona State gets set to head up to Cincinnati this week to take on the Bearcats. As always, my name is Justin Lester-Toso, that's publisher Hode Urbino. And Hode, coming to this game initially, the two biggest things for ASU was handling success and playing better on the road. And although those two factors still remain the same going into this game, the injury of quarterback Sam Leavitt potentially overshadows both of those things.
Yeah, it really does, Justin. I know the line moved, I think, from about 3 points to 6 points because of that injury. And as we're going to explain in a few minutes, I don't think it really should change all that much for Arizona State, just because of the strength of the Sun Devils and really the weakness of the Bearcats. But really not to have the leader of your offense, I mean, that definitely is something that can be a hindrance. And I think we're all curious to see how that does or does not materialize on Saturday. But in terms of the two aspects you talked about, Justin, I think they are really important. It's kind of weird to look at ASU being almost a touchdown underdog and still talking about them also needing to learn to handle success. But even though you can't really compare Texas State to Cincinnati, as we know, when ASU was 3-0, they had a complete and perfect non-conference record. They go on the road to Texas State. Sure, it was a 5-day turnaround, which really was a challenge in itself. But they really did not play well at all. And I think some attributed that to ASU having then an undefeated record, but really not being able to just put that aside and really play good football. But maybe the other aspect of it, to your point, is going to be how well they play on the road. Because Texas State on the road was definitely not a good performance by ASU. Obviously, the lone loss they have on the year was at Texas Tech. So I think that there is something for ASU to prove, especially now when everybody's going to talk about the injury to Sam Leavitt, that they can play well on the road. We know it's going to be a very early kickoff, 9 a.m. Arizona time. ASU has done everything they can to adjust the body clocks of the players. They started practices an hour earlier. They're actually leaving for Cincinnati on Thursday instead of on Friday. So ASU is really doing all they can do to adjust to the road conditions. And again, it's something else that they need to prove. But I'm sure everybody's going to talk about the Sam Leavitt in the injury and how much it's going to impact ASU. But there still are some other aspects to keep in mind.
Yeah, no Sam Leavitt for ASU, but luckily for the Sun Devils, going up against Cincinnati, a team that is statistically the third worst rushing defense in the entire conference. Obviously, ASU's running game, headlined by Cam Scadaboo, has been sort of the focal point of this offense. So do you expect to see sort of more of that against the Cincinnati team?
Yeah, when Kenny Dillingham on his weekly radio show spoke earlier today, he said that just because Jeff Sims is going to be the starting quarterback instead of Leavitt, that not a whole lot is going to change. And I think that really is a genuine statement at the end of the day, because ASU is definitely predicated on a strong running game. You look at Cincinnati and their defense in the scouting report, the first thing that jumps at you is what Justin mentioned a second ago, the third worst rushing defense in the Big 12. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize what ASU is planning and wanting to execute on Saturday. Now you also add the aspect that Jeff Sims, I think, is even a better runner than Sam Leavitt, more physical and faster. So that definitely is not going to have the Sims insertion as a starter have ASU totally veer away. And Kenny Dillingham also hinted that just because you have a physical specimen like Jeff Sims, 6'3", 215, I mean, really just an NFL body and a lot of speed to go with it, that maybe there are going to be some wrinkles to this offense that ASU was not able to probably execute with a guy like Sam Leavitt, even though Sam Leavitt in its own right obviously has been having a pretty good season so far. So when it comes to the passing game, and I think that's what fans are asking all around. Okay, so Jeff Sims is your quarterback. He's obviously going to attempt some passes, and it's not going to be single digits. What do you do in those cases? Well, I think it's really make Jeff Sims as comfortable as possible. You don't ask him to make impossible throws. You predicate the offense on the run, and obviously if you're running the ball successfully, then play action can open up that much more for Jeff Sims. So I think that's something that can work for ASU really well. But you look at Cincinnati, and sure, you can talk about the fact that they're the third worst rushing defense of the Big 12. You can talk about the fact that they're giving up 415 yards on average, but they're also giving up 20 points on average. How does that happen? Really simple answer. Red zone defense, red zone defense. For ASU, once they get within the 20, they really can't be cute. No matter who the quarterback is going to be behind center, they need to run the ball, and if they can be successful in the red zone and already be successful in between the 20s, because you're really exploiting the weakness of the Cincinnati defense, then I think ASU should have every recipe to win. So I know some fans might be really concerned about Jeff Sims and not Sam Leavitt starting. I really don't think at the end of the day it's really going to matter all that much. If ASU is able to run the ball well against one of the worst rush defenses in the Big 12, they should be fine on Saturday.
Yeah, Hoden, shifting gears now, Cincinnati's offense, 31 points per game, but unlike ASU and some other teams in the Big 12, not necessarily predicated on its rushing attack. In fact, the passing game is very much a focal point for Cincinnati. So what do you expect to see out of ASU's defense going against Cincinnati's passing game?
Yeah, this Cincinnati Bearcats offense is almost like an old school Pac-12 offense. Not that they cannot run the ball well. I mean, Corey Kiner is definitely a very capable running back, but Xavier Henderson leads a very potent group of wide receivers, and Brandon Salisbury, like you said, is an excellent quarterback. I think Kenny Dillingham said he's a legit NFL prospect. By far the best quarterback and the best passing offense that ASU has faced all season long. He averages 287 yards passing, has 13 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. I think if you're ASU, and I know it's easier said than done, you have to make sure that you do get effective pass rush with 4, because you're probably going to have to drop more players into coverage to make sure that the passing game does not really hurt you that much, and also really dare Cincinnati to run, to see if they are shut down in the passing game, which again is not going to be an easy task at all. Take your chances to see if they can really punish you with a running game. So I think for ASU was a very aggressive defense. This might be one contest where they really have to be careful and pick the spots, because sword speed in that passing attack can really punish you if you are over pursuing. So I'm really curious to see what kind of approach the ASU defense is going to take. But I would say that they're probably going to take their chances with the run game as long as it can not completely halt, because I think that's impossible to really slow down a very dangerous Cincinnati passing offense.
Yeah, we mentioned it. Handling success, playing better on the road, and now no Sam Leavitt, no QB1. A lot of hurdles for ASU to overcome in Cincinnati. Do you expect them to do that?
Look, I think for ASU, the next man up mantra has worked great. You don't have to look any further than Caleb McCullough at linebacker, replaced Keyshawn Elliott, who was serving a first half suspension because of targeting penalty. What does Caleb McCullough do? Absolutely not only shut down the running game for Utah with 12 tackles, but also has not 1 but 2 interceptions. Really unheard of for a linebacker to have that in one given game. And I'll even throw another name out there that maybe wasn't discussed enough. Defensive lineman Zach Swanson. He replaced Justin Watley in the lineup, and he had 7 tackles. So I think when you're not only talking next man up mentality, but actually really executing it, I think that is going to be something that ASU can point to as a looking to answer the question, how do they deal without Sam Leavitt? But I think that ASU just feels that sometimes they do better maybe when they have the chip on their shoulder, when they are disrespected. I mean, that last place finish in the media preseason poll in the Big 12 is something that gets reminded, I think, quite a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if there's any plaque or something hanging on the locker room, mentioning that. So, this is a game that I think a lot of pundits, locally and then definitely nationally, are thinking, I think ASU is kind of screwed without Sam Leavitt, and they don't play well on the road, and they prove they can't handle success. But I think that ultimately this comes down to ASU's biggest strength and Cincinnati's biggest weakness. If ASU can run the ball as effectively as they have pretty much all season long, control the time of possession, and if you control the time of possession, you also keep a very dangerous Cincinnati offense off the field. If ASU can do all that, I think they can definitely come away with a victory. So my prediction is ASU beating Cincinnati 31-27.
Well, thanks, Hode, for all the insight. We'll be in Cincinnati to catch all of the action. So to stay locked in on all the coverage, go to DevilsDigest.com. Follow Devils Digest on Twitter @DevilsDigest. As always, I'm Justin Lester. So that's publisher Hode Rubino. We'll talk to you guys soon.